The next one is, what do you term as a wasted day and how often does it come to you? Definitely to me, a wasted day is a day that comes and goes whereby you earned nothing, experience such, because I do hang out with people who are professionals. Day in day, I fail to get something from what they have experienced. The next one is, how do you put in mind the phrase of training and practicing? To me, training is all that happens before you showcase what you've learned, and practicing is doing that when you have finished showcasing what you have been training so that you master it. So that's how I put in mind the phrase of training and practicing. You from other artists. To be certain, there is a saying that those of the same kinds don't talk about each other. So this is up to you who, on a different perspective, maybe as a music fan, to stand in a direction whereby you can observe me and see the difference. Thank you. What makes you different from all those that have the same dreams as you? I wake up to make them reality. Thank you. The next one is, according to you, what's the longest you have been a music fan or a music creator? Definitely a music fan, and for me, because growing up, music was there. I was a fan ever since I was young, yet to create music, I started creating music around 2015. The next one is, how does it feel to have worked with the team to bring about each and everything that has happened? So wonderful has been the experiences, because the people I've worked with are professionals who have lots and lots of experiences. So it has been so wonderful and amazing and beautiful. So to each and everyone that I've worked with, thank you so very much. The next question is, what do you ought to accomplish as Abdul? Definitely, I do have dreams, but God is the overall mastermind of our lives, and He's the one that does set the destiny, and destiny is destiny, and I have nothing I can do about that. The next one is, the record is wonderful indeed, but what was the vibe initially when you started recording? To be exact, the vibe initially wasn't high and it wasn't low. It wasn't low because if it was low, I wouldn't have had the energy to start it. It was definitely medium, but it wasn't high and it wasn't so low at the start. The next one is, what do you want to say to everyone out there who's watching this? Probably thank you for all the love, affection, and the support that you are showing me, and lots that I cannot so mention. I'm just so thankful and grateful for your affection. The next one is, as you were growing up, what music brought you up? As I've stated earlier that I grew up with my grandma, they were uncles, so there was a time whereby my grandmother was the one in charge of the radio, and she could bring up the music that she wanted. So my uncles were like, this is the time for us to be with the radio. So what I'm trying to show is that I grew up listening to different genres of music. The next one is, what's the first song that you wrote and when was that? Second to none, and that was around 2015. So that is among the songs that I'll never release. How old were you then when music started to play a big role in your life? Definitely at the start of my secondary life, definitely 12 years. That's when music was in my life. That's when I started to know, that's when I started to want to know what's more of I'm listening. That's when I wanted to know what's the reason behind the song that I'm listening to. So definitely at around 12. Now, what's happening with the fallen dream? Definitely the fallen dream is fallen, but life still moves on. You've mentioned how you've really worked with a few people to create the whole thing out, but not been acquainted with the production of records, and we were like not getting it. Why? Definitely, like I've stated earlier, that there are songs that I never released. So this being my first time to do this, cause for the ways, but for this particular project Oscars, I've worked with a few people like you mentioned, but this has been the time to also be thankful to those people because they opened up my way of doing this. Did you happen to get something valuable from the long course of the record production done? Definitely. The experiences I got with working with these professionals is so valuable. And lots of other things that I cannot just find in my mind at such a time, but I also know that I've got them. So it's among the valuables that I've got from the long process of this record.